Notion has 100 million users and they're worth $10 billion, and they did it with almost no paid advertising. I spent the last week reverse engineering how Notion actually grows: their product led loops, their template marketplace, their community strategies, their SEO play. And the thing that surprised me the most isn't a single tactic. It's their entire growth engine is built on something most startups completely ignore. I did growth both at The Hustle and HubSpot, so I've seen how big companies actually scale. Let me show you exactly what Notion gets right and what I'd change if I was advising them. Quick origin story. Ivan Zhao started Notion in 2013. The first version actually flopped. It moved the entire team to Kyoto, Japan, rebuilt it from scratch, and relaunched in 2018. They even almost died twice before it worked. Notion entered a space dominated by Evernote, Google Docs, Trello, and every one of those was a $1 billion business. What Notion bet on, instead of competing in one category, is they built a suite of tools that replaced all of them and let users decide what it was. Notes, databases, wikis, project management, CRM, all in one. The key here is most startups try to win in one category. Notion said, what if we made a tool that is flexible so users get to define the category? That's either genius or it can be suicide in the business landscape. And for the first 5 years, it wasn't looking good. Growth channel number one: product-led virality. Every workspace is like an ad. When you share a Notion doc, the recipient sees it rendered beautifully on Notion with Notion branding. Every shared page is like a product demo. Notion workspaces are inherently collaborative. You invite your team uses Notion. They you on using it in the next job. This is like the Slack Figma playbook. The Made with Notion sites where people publish entire websites, portfolios, and resumes on Notion. Each one is free advertising that reaches people who've never heard of the product. Compare this to Google Docs. When you share a Google Doc, nobody thinks I should switch to Google Docs. When you share a Notion page, people go, what's this? This looks amazing. The product markets itself through its design quality. This is the most important thing I'd study closely if I were building SaaS right now. They didn't add a referral program. They made the product so visually distinctive that sharing it is the referral program. The design quality isn't just aesthetic, it's a growth mechanism. Growth channel number two: the template marketplace. This is how you get user-generated distribution. Notion's template gallery is one of the most underrated growth plays in SaaS. Thousands of creators build and share templates: habit trackers, CRMs, content calendars, budgets. This is brilliant because each template is a use case Notion didn't have to build or market. The community does it for them. Someone searches free habit tracker on Google, finds a Notion template, signs up for Notion. That's SEO and acquisition and onboarding in one. Template creators become zealots. They have an incentive to promote Notion because their audience needs Notion to use the templates. It's a two-sided flywheel. Some template creators make real money. Thomas Frank reportedly earned 6 figures from Notion templates. That creates a creator economy around the product. At HubSpot, they spent millions of dollars creating educational content to attract the ICP via inbound. Notion got their users to do it for them for free. And those users are more credible than any marketing team because they're actually using the product. Growth channel number three: community and creator ecosystems. There's an entire ecosystem of Notion creators on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. The Notion Ambassador program gives users early access and community status. It's low cost and high leverage. These people would promote the product anyway, but the program just makes them feel seen. Compared to most SaaS companies that hire content marketing agencies to write blog posts nobody reads, Notion has an army of unpaid creators making content that people actively search for. The lesson here isn't get lucky with creators. It's that when your product is genuinely flexible and visually interesting, people want to show it off. Nobody makes YouTube videos about their Jira setup. People make videos about their Notion setup because it's expressive. It says something about them. How can you bring this into your product where you are building something that is actually shareable? Growth channel number four: design as a moat. Notion looks and feels nothing like its competitors. While some might look like enterprise software from 2015, Notion looks like a product built by someone who cares about typography. Ivan Zaus has said that he thinks of Notion as a design tool, not a productivity tool. That philosophy shows up in everything: the font choices, the spacing, the emoji as icon systems, the way blocks snap together. This matters for growth because beautiful products get shared more. People screenshot their Notion setups and post them. People don't screenshot their Asana boards. The design and quality also signals this company is different. which attracts a specific type of user: designers, founders, creators, people who happen to be the most influential early adopters. Growth channel number 5: bottom up enterprise. Notion's enterprise play is classic bottoms up SaaS. One person on a team starts using it for free, they invite their team, then the team starts depending on it. IT gets involved, it becomes an enterprise deal. This is the Slack, Figma, and Dropbox playbook, but Notion executes it better than most because the free tier is genuinely useful for individuals and small teams. The pricing jump from free to $10 per user per month to business, where it's $18 per user per month, to enterprise, the free tier does enough that millions of people also are just using it solo, creating a massive pipeline for future team and enterprise conversion. Also, Notion AI, their recent AI writing assistant and tooling, is an expansive revenue play. Existing users pay $10 a month extra, and that's pure upsell on a massive install base. This is where Notion's growth gets really interesting from a business model perspective. They're not just growing users, they're growing revenue per user over time. So taking someone from free to paid to team to enterprise to using the AI upsell, that's 4 expansion moments from a single user. Here's a couple things I would change if I was putting on a growth advisor hat, because Notion isn't perfect and some of these gaps are actually opportunities. First is performance is still a problem. A lot of people complain online that Notion is slow, larger workspaces just chug along, pages take seconds to load. For a tool that people live in all day, this is a real retention risk. Linear and other competitors are winning because they are very specific on having speed. If I were running growth at Notion, I'd treat performance as a growth initiative, not just an engineering one, because every slow load is a churn moment. Number 2, onboarding is slightly overwhelming. It's hard because it can be a very complex product to actually create something useful. The flexibility that makes Notion powerful also makes it confusing for new users. You can build anything sounds extremely exciting until someone stares at a blank pages and closes the tab. The template gallery does help, but for the first run experience could be more to guide user to their first win. Third, the AI play feels kind of painted on. Notion AI launched as a writing assistant, but doesn't yet feel like it changes what Notion actually is. Compare that to how Notion original block system was genuinely new. Notion AI feels like ChatGPT inside a text editor. The opportunity is for AI to make the product dramatically easier to set up and use, and not just to write paragraphs. There has been a lot of progress with their AI builder. However, they are also just battling the fact that, do people still want a product like Notion in the era of AI? And if they do, how can Notion actually cement themselves as the operating system for agents? Number 4, search and discoverability are weak. For a tool that stores everything, finding things in Notion can actually be pretty hard. This is the kind of infrastructure investment that doesn't show up in a feature launch blog post, but it directly impacts whether teams stick with it at scale. None of these are existential and are very product focused because everyone knows what Notion is. Notion's flywheel is spinning hard and the product-led groups are actually deeply embedded. But if a competitor that is launching AI native and AI first, and they build something that is fast, simple, and creates beautiful workspaces where they're actually arranging agents, this positioning can actually make it really complex for Notion to complete about this in the future. And this is just a big risk for them. Here's what I'd steal from Notion if I was building a product right now. Number 1 is design quality is a growth channel. If your product is beautiful enough to screenshot, you've built free distribution into every interaction. Number 2, let your users build your content, templates, tutorials, workflows. If you make a product flexible enough, your community creates the marketing you'd otherwise pay an agency for.